Today we're going to be talking about one of the most misunderstood DPS there is, especially in the current meta where there's so many other heroes that are much better to play, but this hero is a lot of fun as well. We're going to be talking about Cassidy, or better known as McCree from Overwatch 1. Alright, so first I'm going to be covering basically what Cassidy's general kit is and how you want to play. So typically speaking, compared to, for example, maybe even a Genji or a Sojourn or an Ashe I covered previously, you want to play with a low sense, because Cassidy, you want to make sure you hit every single shot. That is your primary goal. Now, because you don't really have much mobility and you don't need to do 180s or flip up and down or slide very far, yes, you do have your shift skill, which allows you to dash to the side, but that's not really a Sojourn slide. In that case, you want to make sure that you're landing every single shot and you're as accurate as possible. So a low sense is probably your best bet there. Now, in terms of your range, should you be fighting close range or far range? Honestly, it all depends on your skill. This is probably one of the most difficult points to tackle head on, just because everyone has a different playstyle. If you can land your shots better when you are mid to close range, then by all means go for that. Cassidy does a lot better close range because he does have that right click, which can do a lot of damage. But once again, that right click is all up to luck. I would not recommend banking your life on it or a very important play that's going to cost you the game, just because you have to be very close to land it. And typically speaking, a lot of Cassidy mains are going to use this skill defensively when they get dived by a Genji or they get dived by any close range hero. You're not going to be pushing to use that offensively, just because you have to get so close that the enemy would have to be right on top of you. And as always, before we continue in the video, if you guys do enjoy this style of videos and this type of content, make sure you guys do check out my other videos. I've been uploading these daily for all types of heroes, all types of roles, giving you guys some top tier clips with added commentary for tips. So the best of both worlds basically. So definitely do consider subscribing. And as always, make sure you guys do check out Dafran on Twitch. He is a great streamer, has a lot of plays, and probably one of my favorite streamers. So definitely do check him out. And yeah, thank you guys so much for all the recent support. Let's continue on with the video. So next I want to talk about Cassidy's E, right, which is his nade. And the thing you need to understand about this is it is so hard to master if you want to use it properly, because it has that sweet spot range where if you're too far, it just looks embarrassing and it does no benefit for you and it has no value, where if you're too close, you might overshoot it and it just misses the target. So landing it is very hard, and typically speaking, you're going to have the best opportunities to land it if you are flanking. So Cassidy, like I mentioned previously, is going to be in the mid range or far range, right? You don't want to be too close just because you don't have that much mobility and it's hard for you to escape if you get dove. But if you are flanking, typically what you want to do is you want to throw that E nade and then follow it up with your right click, and then you hit. That's going to take down pretty much any target unless they're a tank that's being pocketed, but that will surely shut down a lot of compositions. And last but not least, we have Cassidy's ult. Now, this is probably, in my opinion, one of the most underwhelming ults there is. Now, don't get me wrong, it is very powerful, but once you rise up in the elo, I'm sorry to tell you, but players have more than 2 brain cells, right? So when someone uses that ult, there's a very noticeable keynote, and basically, when you hear the high noon, you know it's going to come out, and then you just don't peek. So you'll see a lot of fights actually pretty much just pause whenever the Cassidy uses the high noon, and then it resumes, right? So maybe it's good for pushing people off of the payload or making sure they don't peek or stalling, but making sure that you are landing it and actually killing a bunch of people is very difficult. I mean, you'd have to be mid-fight and a lot going on for them not to hear you pop it, but a lot of people are going to counter this very easily. So when you do use it, just make sure you keep that in mind. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed these quick tips. As always, make sure you guys do check out Dafran on Twitch and consider subscribing, checking out my previous videos. As always,
come here, bitch. We can. I'm really low. I'm really low. There you go.
We can force Fox Hulk
fuck, bitch.
Big space.
Hog no hook. Nice. Good, good, good.
Good job, everybody. We did it clear.
Sodium lost.
I need help on the fire.
What the fuck was that? Doesn't work anymore. Don't right, Hog.
He's left, he's left. I got played. Soldier's right side. Mid.
Maybe it's just for rest.
Wait, is the Mercy here? They have no Suzu. Don't worry, I killed all of them. Smoked.
Thanks, Doc.
They're just gonna go right or left.
You only have to beat. You only have to beat. Try to kill you.
Jesus. Yeah, that homing fucking missile was crazy.
I have got. If you somehow help the rest of